Can anybody give me a recap on what they remember from last sesh? It was a role play sesh. There wasn't any combat, so it might be things we either do or don't remember.
A lot. There was a lot.
I got new armor.
You got new
Or not new armor, but upgraded armor.
Yes, you did.
And I made it myself.
Yep. You succeeded where I did not succeed as much as I wanted.
Yeah.
I
You were so blown back by how well I did that you were just like,
honestly
Not only did you
distracted.
not succeed, but I think last session we rolled like the most crit fails we have in a while too.
Yeah, I think so. It was a little rough. But we're exhausted. We're tired.
Ythryn convinced Miris to use his time wisely and hit up the library.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I joined him. I did something else before that. I don't remember what.
You
you were at the library as well.
Yeah, you were parking
Yeah.
around there.
Oh, I bought flowers for the sheriff and paid respects. That's what I did.
right.
Have to pay respect.
I mean, basically. So, yeah. What the party had found out was that, as the party rested for the evening and began making their plans, they all had their dream sequences, which all of you should have your scripts for. I think the other half of the group, I sent screenshots of what was said because my experiment failed and I couldn't send it the way I wanted to through mobile. So, of essentially what you experienced in your dreams, and then you all woke. Some of you had different dreams than others, and kind of began formulating a plan, estimating about how much time you'd have to do certain things. The group partially feels like they're being tracked, or at least that there is someone keeping eyes on them somewhere, while the other half of the group experienced a dream sequence. Well, one half of the group experienced a dream sequence tied to people that they have not met before, have no reference about. The other half experienced a dream relating to Hedrune and Grand Priestess Regis, as you realize that Hedrune's ritual seems to be coming to a climax, that there's only one piece that she's missing to complete the ritual, and it is Maetra's other sister, the middle sister, Sienna, I believe is what her name was. I don't have my notes directly open yet. Note to self, open notes ahead of time. As Maetra, everyone's sitting around the table, Ythryn conference called everybody in the brains, and you all had a conversation internally about where she possibly is. You're still waiting for Tilly to bring you the lightning tank and Ugg and Tug. That should be within the next probably 24 hours. She should be back, is my guess, based off of what people have rolled previously. And Ono and Big Toon went to Black Iron Blades to forge some armor and like weaponry slash mechanical bits. I believe Ono focused on making the replacement arm for Kanit because his was destroyed by Durogneil, who shortly after destroying it disappeared once more.
Sure.
And Big Toon, through sheer determination and desire, was able to help forge a set of armor from within Black Iron Blades that is both boosting AC as well as one other thing. I did generalize it to not just that specific role, Nick. I did make it a little bit better for you too. So if you're trying to do other things, it'll apply as well. One thing that we didn't. One thing we didn't factor in with that though was I didn't have you do your payment at that point yet. The payment. With the vast discount, normally +1 split mail is like 1,500 gold, but you guys have saved Brinchander and you guys are on really good terms with Black Iron Blades. And because you helped, it comes to 650 total. You guys have done a lot for Brinchander, so you have a ridiculous discount right now on a lot of the goods with Black Iron. So, plus, you guys
I'll take that out.
Yeah. What else was there? Yeah, Miris and Ythryn went to the library. And for different purposes, Miris was looking for things pertaining to items that he has essentially acquired. I believe it was the Black Moon and the Key of Nez, which are things tied to Miris in some way, shape, or form. and Ythryn was looking for items to help him with his archery, I believe, as well as books pertaining to psionics. And the psionics books you were not able to, or the psionic book you were not able to take with you. That's under lock and key at the library, but the archery ones you were able to purchase, as to over time here help you boost your archery related skills. I don't believe I actually described what Aethros was doing because Ben wasn't here. So if there was something that Aethros would be doing over this time period, we could start with that if we wanted to, as it's reaching the end of the day here in Bryn Shander as the party's kind of recuperating and preparing for what comes next. I will say that based off of Ono's estimations and like your experiences with like both Hedrun as well as the Serpent, that you estimate that if Hedrun travels with her Serpent to go and try and find Sienna, that you guys probably have about a day and a half. And if like for preparation purposes, and then if she went by herself, based off of like her vaporous form that she took that one time, you'd be looking at probably 3 days. The Serpent has a crazy good ability to increase your travel distance, so you're not sure what route she's choosing, but you guys needed time to prepare and also like de-stress a little bit before things get a little more carried away. And with that, I'm going to, I guess, start things off with, Ben, was there anything that Aethros would do on this day of downtime? Yeah.
Got anything locked up there, bud?
So does he know the sheriff died, or I'm guessing...
He would know. The party had breakfast, and Duvessa Shane, followed very closely by Mishan from the House of the Morning Lord, stormed into the Northlook, looking for the Broken, and essentially threw down a letter, basically giving her nomination as a town speaker for the Plain Guard, because the party had inquired about that previously. And she was... she kind of forced Mishan to explain what happened and why she's alive, and Mishan, in a very tense and anxiety-inducing moment, as well as with many people of the town staring at her before Ythryn cast darkness to kind of give her some privacy of visualization, not audio, explained that there was a ritual that is a variation of like, what's it called, life transference, like this 3rd level spell, where you can transfer one person's life force to another. So the sheriff sacrificed himself to bring back Duvessa, feeling that she was more important to be alive versus him. And Duvessa was fucking pissed about the fact that she would even consider doing that. So the Aethros would know. He would have heard it over breakfast.
There was also the part where I said that's fine, will help, but the executions have to stop. I didn't roll high enough for performance, and they're going to keep doing it. And I'm like, well, you don't really have a leg to stand on. That's their terms, and they just kind of left.
But she also did explain that it's not so much like the killings that had happened, because you were like, stop it, enough people have already died. And she explained, there's the people that have died, there's no guarantee that that came from Oriel herself, and if we stop, what's to say things won't get worse?
Right.
So she pretty much got into an argument with you about the validations behind continuing versus not, and the 400 some people that have died because of the ritual, as well as anything else that currently happened in town here. They weren't Oral's doing. They were another organization. Like Dorognia was the first one, and the Duragar were the second one. Not directly tied to Oral, to everyone's knowledge. So she's like, I can't physically stop this if I want my town to even be standing. Like, we don't know how it'll affect things. And you stormed out, and and then she kind of talked to the party, and then had a small breakdown, and then kind of took off with Mishan somewhere else. So yeah, Aethros knows.
Okay. Yeah, Aethros would want to go to the like barracks or the armory, wherever like the town guard would be located out of, and ask around for whoever's in charge now.
Okay. So the armory itself is kind of based. It was based primarily through the basement of the town hall, but since everything that happened there, you ask around a little bit to see where maybe it's been moved to, and then you see some of the town guard themselves moving supplies out of town hall over to the council hall on the south side of town. There's a storage facility also there. They just don't use it for much. It's not as secure as the town halls was. And you kind of follow them to the council hall, and you see that there's an individual whose armor looks a little bit different compared to some of his peers. A little bit more decorated, not to the extent that the sheriff's was. And you see that he carries what looks to be like a large axe across that's like strapped across his back. And he like sees that the two individuals that are carrying like a large crate of like items out of the town hall, that carries him into the council hall. Yes, move those to the back. We got to make room. There's a lot of stuff coming here. You see like the two guys kind of like nod like yeah we know, like you've told us this pretty much every time we've come here. And he's like, don't talk back to me, as he sees you approach. Ah, yes. You're one of the people who helped save the town. How can I help you? The name is Sergeant Garrett.
I'm looking for the old sheriff's corpse.
Well, if you're looking for the corpse, they're still allowing people to pay their respects up at the House of the Morning Lord. Many of the people here have kind of heard of what happened now. Word travels fast after after Vas'Kai spoke at the Northlook. So, last I heard, and that's how it should be currently, is that he's still at the House of the Morning Lord. People can have their visitation and pay their respects, and yeah, that's where he is.
All right. I'm gonna just turn around without saying goodbye to him and just head to the Morning Lord, or House of the Morning Lord. Yeah.
Okay.
He's of no use to me now.
Okay. Morning Lord's blessing upon you. As like you don't even really acknowledge like a goodbye. Just
Whatever.
Just in Baldur's Gate, this would be the leave option. As he takes off. One sec. So you head to the House of the Morning Lord, and what you would see as you walk in is because I would say for you, because we're backtracking time a little bit, it'd be probably late morning, maybe going into like right around noon. As you walk into the House of the Morning Lord, and you see that there are a couple of the acolyte attendants who are kind of cleaning things up, taking care of some of the extra town folk that are still like recuperating.
Okay.
As
Go ahead.
oh, sorry, I have family who's leaving, so they're just saying goodbye.
Oh, okay.
As you see some of these townsfolk that are walking in there, you can tell that there's still some residual effects of the ritual that had undertaken the town. You get feelings of dread, but you can tell that they're beginning to dissipate over time. It just might take a little bit of extra time for the between the acolytes themselves here as well as Mishan to kind of like clean up the remnants of what happened. But the town's definitely in like aura-wise, it's definitely making its improvements. As you walk to the main altar area, probably about 3/4 of the way back, you see Mishan standing by herself, praying in front of a statue of the Morning Lord himself. The hanging from his hand, it looks like essentially a chained sun. As she hears you walk in, you in your the armor that you wear, she like turns to face you and kind of breaks from her prayer. Athros, I apologize for the display this morning. I know Duves is a bit angry, but maybe a holy individual such as yourself could understand why the sheriff would want her to, well, be here versus himself. Or am I wrong in my thoughts about how to feel about what just happened?
I don't care how you feel. I'm just looking for the sheriff.
Right. Well, he's she like kind of sways her hand to her left, and you see that there is a open doorway, and there's like another member of the town that's kind of like coming out from that back room. They have like tears in their eyes, and you see like they're like being comforted by possibly a spouse or someone of importance to them as they begin walking out. You've seen these people, around town a couple other times. As you walk into this the back room, you see the sheriff himself, and he looks a bit different than when you had last seen him during combat and like after after the battle was done. It almost looks like a lot of what Vas'Kai had gone through, her corpse being charred to a crisp. Some of that seems to have transferred between him and her as well. She herself was almost as if she was grafted with new skin, as like her old skin was burnt away. He seems to have inherited some of those properties, so you see some of the physical features of him seem to be like shriveled, almost like as if he had aged a significant amount in a very short period of time. You see that there, by the base of his feet, there seems to be what looks to be like some form of winter lily, as people have been paying respects throughout the morning here now. And decorated on his person, you do see his symbolic armor that he had been wearing since you've known him, traveling between the Underdark and battling with him here in town.
Is there anyone else in the room?
There's like one. Currently, there's one attendant who's kind of keeping, like greeting people as they walk into this chamber, but otherwise, there doesn't seem to be anybody else here.
I go up to him and tell him, I'm gonna need some time alone here with him. Make sure no one else comes in.
Right. I understand. Everyone grieves a little bit different. I will hold individuals coming in for
Good. And I
for
walk through
a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. As he like watches you walk in, and you see that there's like more people that were becoming behind. He's like, there's been a request for a little bit of privacy. He's like here as you're walking away from him, and talking to another member of the town. You are currently alone in the chamber. There's no door shutting off this chamber, but it's pretty deep into the House of the Morning Lord itself. Like you walked essentially down a longer hallway and then into this actual room itself, and the tenant was standing somewhere in the hallway. They wouldn't be able to see you, but they would be just outside of like the doorway to get in here. You're pretty far away from people.
Okay. I'm still gonna cast darkness at like just after the door, so that way no one can see what's going on.
Okay. You utter your incantation, and you like kind of point towards the doorway itself, and you see this globe of darkness form, blocking out any light coming from the hallway leading in here, as well as blocking vision of people into the chamber.
Okay. So then I go up to the sheriff's body, and I cast Animate Dead on him.
Oh, what?
Oh, word.
For real, bro?
Yep.
Just out the gate. Okay.
He's not done
Okay,
serving us
one
yet.
sec. All right, are you choosing a zombie or a skeleton?
Skeleton.
Bro, you are stripping his skin?
Yep.
Okay.
This
Gotta
is
make
the
sure I finish reading this
timeline.
quick. Oh god, this is already so great. Okay, as you cast Animate Dead, how long does it take? It takes 1 minute to cast. So you
Yep.
and it's non-concentration. Okay,
Yep.
so you begin uttering this a little bit more sinister incantation, something a little different than the norm. As you lay your hand, as you finish it, in front of his corpse, you, oh Lord, you watch as almost as if melting away, and like peeling the bone from the skin itself, this husk rises into a sitting position. Two globules of whitish blue light emanate from behind the eye sockets as the flesh that had been making up the sheriff's face and the body that he had before like melts to a fleshy puddle where he was laying, and the skeleton rises, armor and all, and like stares at you, and you see like its maw kind of like is agape a little bit as it lets out a waiting for orders from you. Yes, he's animated. He's there.
Beforehand, but his
Okay.
armor, like, does it have the face mask that like comes down so you can't really see his face?
It does.
Okay,
Bro.
I'm gonna tell him to close that. And I'm guessing like the rest of them's covered in armor, so they shouldn't be able to tell that he's a skeleton, right?
I mean, it'll be a challenge for them to figure it out. They'd have the ability to try and determine, but there's not a lot of physical skin that'll be visible, especially because we're in the frozen north here.
One walked in, two walk out.
Yeah.
Is my biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a little suspicion, but I'm sure you have a plan.
Less than you would hope for, but all right. So yeah, I tell him to follow, and I start walking out, dismiss the darkness.
You watch as this skeleton pushes itself up to a standing position off of the pedestal he was laying on, and as you start walking away, it kind of like has a small hurry to catch up to you, and then walks at the same pace as yourself, being told to follow. The weaponry that the sheriff had and the armor that he was wearing both follow you on this skeletal form. The cowl that it had to mask its face, and like the helmet that pulls down to help block out weak points on the armor, cover its head. You can, as you like look at the skeleton itself, you can see that occasionally you can kind of see a small sliver of the two blue globules of its eyes, but it flashes here back and forth. You feel as though that part's not going to be what impacts your ability to get through here. As you reach the end of this hallway, you dismiss your darkness, and you're walking out of the room.
Yeah, just walking out of the house in the morning, Lord. Like no big deal.
And I love everything you're doing right now.
As you reach the doorway and you begin walking out, the acolyte and now probably 3 or 4 people standing behind this acolyte who've given you the space, they look at you and they see another individual. I was fairly confident you were alone in there.
Yes, and now I'm not.
I'm sorry. Who are you? And it like points to the skeleton wearing the armor.
The armor that.
Yeah, the armor that the
the
sheriff had.
sheriff?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
So
it's gonna be very
obviously.
recognizable.
Yeah. He has to make a perception check.
We're just gonna be like, no, we were both here.
No, totally.
Oh, word.
Or like the racist card, like, oh wow, you don't recognize skeletons as people, or
Oh,
I'm gonna have to go get Mishan.
Go for it, and I continue to walk out the building. And the skeleton should still be following me, right?
Oh yeah, no, its orders are to follow you right now, so it is following you out of the building. And you hear like the townsfolk being like, isn't that the sheriff's armor? Aren't they going to stop him? As the acolyte like leaves the people in this chamber and like kind of like tries to hurry ahead of you to get Mishan. You re-enter the main area of like the chapel where like there are a couple people, you know, the acolytes who are attending to some of the wounded, as well as like this is where usually if they have like a church service, where it normally happens, you'd see Mishan talking to the acolyte, and they like look and see you, and like you'd see the acolyte point at you. Athros, what do you think you're doing?
I am walking out of this building. Or does it look like I'm doing?
So emo.
Unfortunately,
This is
I
while I'm
can't-
still walking. Like, I'm not stopping at all.
right.
Like
Casually
West Wing.
walking out.
You're damn right you're not
Yeah,
stopping.
I'm walking out the building.
She's gonna begin move. She's gonna chase after you, as you're like continuing the walk with your skeleton. Athros, I can't let you leave with this clearly undead creature
Rude.
following behind you. As she will run up and she's gonna try to stop the skeleton.
First off, this creature is your sheriff. Show him some respect.
Oh,
And he's still gonna serve the town. You got work to do.
Bro, you just came out so hot with that statement.
While I appreciate the thought behind what you're trying to do, Athros, even the Morning Lord doesn't condone servants beyond death.
That's
I
why
don't-
we're leaving the House of the Morning Lord.
Is this what you think the sheriff would want?
It's not the first time I've brought him back.
I'm sorry, Athros, but I can't let this leave here. As she like, at this point, the acolyte is also trying to keep the skeleton back. You can tell it still wants to follow you, but it is currently being restrained by the two of them. If you don't put this down, I'm going to have to do it myself. And that already hurts enough knowing that it's the sheriff that I'm going to have to put down a second time.
Wait, you put him down already before? You killed him?
I
You
mean,
think I'm a
did
monster?
you... Duvessa is back now, is she not? This
The
was
sheriff is
his
back
wish.
now, is he not?
He's back, but he's not back. You're utilizing his corpse.
Yeah, he's not using it anymore. So what difference does it make?
Well, I don't know what's going on with you, Athros, but this is a very different mentality than the last time I had spoken with you.
Who cares? The town needs saving. We need all the help we can get.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Somewhere Ono is guiding you. Like, just.
I was gonna say, please just let the dice gods double crit or something.
Oh, bro.
Oh my
come
God,
on.
yeah.
Dakota, turn the thing off. Turn the mod off. Come on.
Yeah.
As as you try to persuade her to let him continue serving the town as it needs saving.
Just dispels a corpse the whole way.
She begins to utter an incantation, and there's what you would see is there's another tear that seems to kind of come to her eye, one of her eyes, as she's going to use Destroy Undead.
I cast Silence.
You can.
Target the skeleton. So
Uh,
it's like a spear silence. Oh. Yeah, sure. What's wrong with him?
He's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, we'll see how it goes.
I was gonna say, do you have a counter spell?
Well, technically, Destroy Undead's not a spell. It's a class feature. But now I gotta see if it requires a vocal component. Sure shit.
Really
Okay.
hoping it requires.
As
Careful.
as she's beginning to utter this incantation, you cast this globule of silence around this entire area with like the skeleton and herself and the other acolyte, and it interrupts her ability to cast Destroy Undead. As she like pauses for a moment, and she like gives you this extremely disapproving look, and you
I
watch
continue to walk out the door.
skeleton trying to chase after you is going to make a athletics check. And you watch as the skeleton itself is able to break free from Mishan and the acolyte, and it chases after you out of the building, once again catching up to your location, and follows the same pace that you are currently traveling. You just hear the coming from like underneath the helmet as you leave the house of the Morning Lord with the skeleton of the sheriff.
Well, I wouldn't be hearing anything because the silence is on him, so that should be moving with him for the next 10 minutes.
Silence, I don't think you can.
Oh, does it not?
No, darkness you can attach to objects. You can't
Okay.
attach silence to objects. But
Okay.
it still interrupted
That's fine,
her
yeah.
ability to cast
Yeah.
Destroy Undead, because that one also, I think, requires you to be within a certain distance of it anyway. So
All right. And then I'll continue back to where are we staying? The North Look?
that is correct. That is where the party's been kind of based out of.
Okay. At some point, I'm gonna look back at him and think, you know what, he's a little too obvious. I'm gonna put the cloak of dragon breath around him to try and help, I don't know, disguise him or make it not as obvious that it's the sheriff armor.
Okay. So you want to equip him with the Cloak of Dragon's Breath.
Yeah. Which actually is somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you like take it from your own pack, and you kind of wrap it and clip it onto his person, taking off. There was like a small like additional like cape like item that was attached to the armor, the splint mail that the sheriff had been wearing, and you replace it with this one, and it does give a different appearance. It definitely is not something that the sheriff would wear, and it doesn't seem to draw the same level of attention that the without it wouldn't have before. It's not a perfect disguise, but it definitely helps a bit.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah. Then just try and make our way back to the North Look.
As you would successfully be able to, you'd get a couple head turns, but nothing that would like people don't seem to like be like, hey, that's the sheriff, and like be all hostile or standoffish towards you. It just seems like acknowledging your presence and that you're being followed by someone as you make your way back to the North Look. Was there anything else you wanted to do at all?
Nope. I did everything I wanted to do.
Okay, so at that point, I would say it's going to be, because the party had the items that they had done over the course of the rest of the day, you would, I guess, I'm assuming that at some point the party is going to make their way back that direction. It would be, let's do hours, because by the time you get done with your armor and your attempts to fix Kneet's arm between Big Toon and Ono, we'd be looking at probably 6 o'clock, roughly, because it took the entire day to make this happen. And same thing with Ythryn and Miris, your ability to like go to the library and do some investigating. Everybody would eventually, at some point, make their way, I'm assuming, back to the North Look, unless people were not planning on staying there another night. And I would say it would be, we're going to say Ythryn and Miris, because you guys were at the library. Would be the first two, besides Athros and I'm going to come up, you'll figure it will have the two of you would make your way into the North Look, and you would see Aethros, who have been missing for a large portion of the day, because I didn't feel like figuring out what you were going to do in your downtime. You see Aethros sitting at the table that you all had kind of taken over, large enough to support the party. And he seems to be not alone. And as he's sitting there, I'm assuming enjoying just like a nice meal, maybe putting in a request that, hey, people are going to be coming back, let's get some food going, so there's some food at the table already. Drinks if you want them. As you would see Aethros and a mysterious individual sitting at the table.
I'd like to roll for investigation of said mysterious person.
Yeah, okay. It does not take much for you. That was a good roll. It does not take much for you to figure out that that is the sheriff's armor that is on this individual. And you, like, give them a really good once-over, and I would say you would be able to pick out that there is something really weird behind their helmet. You see two whitish blue flashes of light from behind the helmet itself. It gives off the image that this person... It reminds you a lot of the frost giant skeleton that you had encountered in the caverns, as far as semblances of life.
I would look at the skeleton. I'd look at Aethros, and I'd kind of go back and forth a little bit.
Yes,
Nod
just
my
what you
head.
think.
I would nod my head. I would smile at Aethros and be like, you know what? Oddly, I'm okay with this. This is gonna be fun when Duvessa comes around. If I've got a mug, I'd kind of pick it up and cling it against Aethros and be like, "Let chaos reign." That's our motto, right?
Whatever. And yeah, I cheers you.
Whatever. Like, stop, man. Stop.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
Whatever. Hair flick.
Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
I'm drinking the darkest ale that they have, too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I guess, Miris, any reaction to this situation?
I don't know. I'd kind of just be there in silence, kind of observing what's going on, and I'd also be, I don't know, a little bit confused as well about the other person with Aethros.
Okay. Yeah, so there's this feeling of confusion as you kind of sit down. This individual, not very, you don't recognize them at a first glance here. Maybe it's the cloak, maybe it's, there's something weird about them you can't quite put your finger on.
Yeah, if I see Miris, like, staring him down, I'll slowly lift up the towel or whatever on his face mask
Yeah.
to show him that there's, like, a skeleton behind it, close it, put my finger up to my lips and be like, you know.
The shh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you would, like, reveal to him that this is,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The skeleton.
You can
Whatever.
tell it's, yeah, you can tell that it's a skeleton within the sheriff's, not sheriff's, but within a set of armor. That seems oddly familiar. Shortly afterward, you would see, it would be Bictoon and Ono. The two of you would be able to return to the North Look itself as well. Bictoon having completed your new splint mail that you have been requesting, and Ono a little more disheartened by the fact that you were not able to get the, I guess, prototype 1 of the mechanical arm to function the way you wanted it to.
If, like, Big Tune is, like, talking to me, I'm definitely,
Yeah,
like, I'm, like, writing in my notebook, like, I'm affirming whatever you're saying. I'm, like, I'm conversating with you, but if they're, like, one-word answers, because I'm, like, going over my notes, going, like, where the hell did I make a mistake?
I have the biggest shit-eating grin on my face.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, just
100%.
like,
No,
I just keep talking like I just keep basically just like doing like the and then you saw when I when
Yeah,
I hit it like that, and then it was,
Yeah, no, and then you put
and
the
then
steps in the right way, just like you were supposed to. Yeah, I know. That's no, you did that right. Yeah, no, and you
just
used
completely
the
oblivious to the fact that he is like that he is clearly upset.
I yeah, I'm a little shook. I'm like, all right, yeah, no, yeah, it's good. No, you did good. No, you did really good. Yeah. Good bold choice for the inner lining. Wouldn't have necessarily
And
done Yeti skin.
then when we walk in, I'm just like, oh, hey, what's up, guys?
It smells like bones. Smells like bones in here.
Yeah, you would see Ythryn sitting next to someone who was not sitting at the table this morning, as you all make your approach. I guess between the
chair.
between the two of you, if you wanted to make investigation checks, you could. Technically, Mirrors could have too, but I went with it. So
Big Tim just rolls with the punches these days. He really doesn't care anymore.
He's too enthralled by his new achievement he has.
Just slide a chair out and like sit in it. Slide in. Aethros, who's the Tin Man? Who's this? Hi, bud.
Sheriff.
That's the sheriff.
Oh, hey, what's up, Sheriff?
Corpse.
That's wait. Hold on. Rewind. Backtrack. The sheriff, Aethros.
You don't recognize his armor?
I recognize this armor belonged to the few hours ago, to my understanding, deceased sheriff. So there is a gentleman in this
helmet.
Right? No. There's a gentleman in the dead sheriff's armor. That's a bit rude, bud. Why is there a skeleton in? Why is there a skeleton in that armor?
We need all the help we can get. Did you see what happened to the town?
Fair.
Do you want
So
this
many
to
more
happen again?
questions.
I mean, if you think about this, the amount of sacrifices these people do every year, whew, you could have an army of these dudes in a couple of years. This is perfect.
I don't necessarily have a problem with necromancy, but I don't want to be the one to kind of sound like a parental person and be like, "Where did you learn this?"
It just happened, okay? Deal with it.
I take my pipe out of my pouch. I tap it on the corner of the table, and I go, "I'm out of questions at this point. Big Tune has surpassed me technologically, and Aethros has decided to turn to what I would assume is the fashionable dark side.
You're just jealous it suits me better.
I am not jealous. I am what? That is.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's cool that you know necromancy. That's kind of I'm intrigued and interested, but I'm not jealous. Is he really? I like stand up on the table and like walk across the table and like touch the exposed skeleton. Like, well, you really did animate a skeleton. Did you actively choose to make him a skeleton?
Well, yeah, I don't want zombies going around. It's crazy. Zombie
No,
apocalypse?
I mean, that's
oh,
right,
no.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I get that.
I don't want them eating brain.
I don't know if they... I don't personally have a lot of information for firsthand with zombies. I'm like poking the skeleton.
And it doesn't really seem to be reacting.
Nope. Figured. Yeah. You know what? We fought a dragon not more than 24 hours ago. This is not weird. I just walked back across the table.
As you go to sit back down, you would see Irini and Matra and Spit all also come and sit down, and you would see like Irini like looks over and she's like, "Oh hey, sup Aethros," and then see the individual and be like, "Did we like recruit another person, or who's this guy?"
His name is Double S.
That's rude. Okay. Short answer is that's the reanimated corpse was the sheriff.
Yeah, he's a skeleton. It's the sheriff. Double S. Skeleton sheriff.
How loud did you just say that? Oh no.
I don't understand why Double S is better than calling. You know what?
Because I have a feeling that people around, if anybody's around us, they might at this point hear us talking about it.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm worried about how loud we're talking.
that is a very good point.
There's no filter. When have I ever had a filter?
I know. That's why I was asking.
No,
I
I
close his face mask so people can't see the skeleton head.
yeah. I just like eat whatever is like food in front of me, whatever stew is in front of me. I'm like, yep, nope, it's a reanimated corpse of the sheriff.
One second. Does the town seem to hear? Nope. As
Yes.
as at this point, surprisingly, there's not a lot of people who've been like coming in. It seems that after the events of yesterday, that people seem to be trying to do a little bit more to help recuperate the damage that has been done to the town. People seem to be working a bit longer today, and that might continue for the next foreseeable future. As you see, Scramsax is dishing out, a couple tankards of some form of beverage to like patrons at the bar themselves, but no one really seems to pay you guys much mind. Everyone seems to have their own mentality about what happened over truly like the last week and a half, given the amount of shit that Bryn Shander's gone through. So there are certain things that people don't seem to be either tuning into, or if they were tuned in, they're not really fazed by it because, I mean, maybe they lost a loved one and they don't really care, or, they're depressed and just want to drink, or whatever. No one seems to really pay attention to the fact that you just said that he's the reanimated sheriff. As Irini would, look at them and then just kind of shrug her shoulders and then shoot one back. Whatever. Allies are allies. Right?
Yeah, it's easier that way. We just move on. I feel
Yeah.
like engaging in Athros's adolescent antics might prove it backfiring on us. So
Yeah.
also, his
Maybe.
hair's cool. I'm not gonna deny it.
Yeah, no, Aethros seem a little bit different, but hey, I'm not one to judge.
Are you smoking a clove right now? Like, are you smoking a cigarette, Athros? What are you doing?
Who are you, my dad?
Oh my glob.
Stop asking
Nice.
questions.
I hold my hand out for a high five.
I high five you right back without even looking at you, and it's a perfect contact.
Oh, shall we see how good of a high five it is?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, 100%. Make your athletics checks for me. How good we talking?
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I mean, in fairness, you weren't looking, Aethros, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have had advantage on that roll. So yeah. I mean,
The impact wasn't what you were fully expecting it to be, but you're not complaining. It was still
Yeah.
good.
I was relying more on Big Tune to make the actual, maneuvering or get the good contact.
Mm-hmm.
I just put my hand up.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was above average.
Uh huh.
So
Nope. I'm not gonna do it. No.
So what's our plan, guys? We gonna go and I guess find Sienna? Are we gonna Irini would look to Matra and then look back to the party? Are we gonna figure out what's going on with this Drogneel guy? Are we gonna hang out here? I mean, what are we thinking? I'm getting kind of antsy, but I know we just we had a rough day, but I worry about what's gonna happen to the north here, and she kind of holds her hand to her chest for a moment, and so is the Nameless, or whatever semblance of her. I don't know. Talks to me sometimes.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, I think the order of operations or how the dominoes may fall. We need a lightning tank back, and I think we're not that far off from it being here. Then I think we definitely should head out and go find your sister. And I point at Matra. And then I think, honestly, at that point, the Drogneel situation should fall into place, because that sucker's got it coming, and he's looking for us, and I'm looking for him just as bad as he's looking for us. So I kind of think, yeah, we just kind of go.
So
Hold
we're
on one second.
not gonna finish our good mead quest then?
I start rifling through Athros's like pouch where his like knickknacks and like gambling stuff is, and I go and grab a dice out of Athros's pouch. Give me this. I'll be right back. Hold on. I roll a dice on the table and I go, no, I honestly, the good meat quest, we should do that 100%, but I would hate to
What's
bring
the dice
more
gonna do to
danger.
anything?
Huh?
What's with the die?
Well, I was making a decision. You know, like Chaos Rain kind of thing. Well, here in the
Whatever.
back. Here, let's slide it back over. We could go to Goodmead. I would hate to bring more danger to Goodmead unnecessarily or unwarranted. It would be ideal to go back to Goodmead, but I mean, our transportation is kind of coming from Goodmead right now. So, I don't know. I think we should find their sister. Kind of the big thing. I think the Drogue meal will prove to be a problem along the way. And then maybe double back to Goodmead. I don't know. We're going to Goodmead to finish a quest that I feel like ultimately, yeah, we do need to tie up loose ends.
Should we also tell those people from the Underdark that Drogue Meal 2 is still alive?
I mean, I'm pretty sure she's gonna find out. I'm pretty sure Lady Grandolpha is gonna find out eventually. I mean, she's a tough cookie, but she's a smart cookie. So I don't think information gets past that woman. I mean, we saw her late husband on the floor. So
Matra would like look at you as you're talking. I have no idea what you're talking about. Was I frozen for this? Was I?
You
was
were
I a nice
frozen.
sculpture?
Yeah, in the most polite way, you were just a block of ice. So yeah, I don't know. We go to Goodmead. I see no real major issue, short of we're getting possibly further away from your sister. As I gesture to Matra.
I guess we could also keep in mind Irini would chime in too. I mean, Goodmead's biggest problem was that someone was stealing their mead, right? And that was like their primary form of commerce.
I mean, yeah.
Well, when we got there, we killed one of the things, and the other one was a bloody trail leading off out of the cave. The amount of time we've been gone, they might have already figured things out.
Probably. It's been like days, weeks kind of vibe. Yeah. I mean, like, we could be considered, like a lost cause in Goodmead. So maybe that might be one of those things where it's like we show up like a month later and they're like, "Oh, you've come back. Oh, well, we kept this purse to the side." And then, we'll go from there. Also, I'm sure, Tilly probably has some weird story to tell us. Like, hey, we went to go pick up the bears and your wagon. Also, they think you're dead, or they assumed you're dead, or a flash of light happened and some fortune teller drank tea leaves and all of a sudden a dude named Billy Bob says you're alive. I don't know. I divination's not my forte.
As the party is, having these conversations and enjoying some dinner after a decently long day of doing various things, I would like, I guess, who from our group here would be sitting at the edge of the table closest to the bar itself? Like, I would imagine they could have up to 3 people if we wanted to include Matra, Irini, or Spit as one of them too. But I would like the 2 people who think they'd be sitting closest to like the bar.
Well,
If it puts my back to a wall where I see the entrance, then I would probably be one of those 3.
Same.
Well,
Okay.
I always
I mean, I
watch
got.
the entries and exits.
Oh, so you so you moved as soon as everybody came in, every time?
No, I mean I've walked across the table like 3 times. Big Dan.
No, no, not you. Talking about Ythryn because he was second. You know what I mean? If we're thinking about it in terms of like,
Who's sitting
Yeah,
on the
unless somebody
table?
I got there
specifically wanted
first.
to move, right?
Well, yeah, Athos got there first, so I would have sat there naturally.
Well, yeah. So when I would go to a table, it's like, okay, I'm gonna look to see, when the people I'm there to meet come in the door. I'm not gonna have my back to the door first if I'm the only one there.
I guess
And
it
then
depends on what kind of table we're at too. Are we at like a booth or just like a straight up like
Yeah.
table in
It's
the
straight
middle?
up.
wait,
It's like
yeah.
I don't know how to freaking describe it. Think of it like it's a long dinner table that you would like find like if you reserved a special room at like a restaurant, but it's in the main like area itself. It's like two standard size like 4-seat tables put together
We've got a
to
beer.
give you guys
Gotcha.
some space. And it would be, if we look at it from the perspective of a rectangle here, the top of this table, there would be a total of 3 seats who would be closest to the bar. One would be facing the
Right.
bar, one would be facing away, and one would be like, you could go either way, the head of the table. So I'm looking for the 3 people who we feel would be sitting at the top of the table, so to speak. Because it'd be for
Okay, never mind that.
it'd be for hearing conversations, not as much for seeing people enter. It'll be
Right.
important, but
Yeah, I
for
was
purposes
thinking that
of-
we had like a whole like it was like not like a 360 seating kind of thing. You know, like there was
Yeah,
one
yeah.
in one. You know, and that's why I was
you'd be able to
clarifying.
like, yeah, if we the table itself has a total of 10 seats, you would be able to you would be able to reach any seat that you wanted to sit in.
Yeah.
For the
Part of-
purposes of
I guess part of me was
mobility.
hoping it was like the corner booth at like Olive Garden where it's just like it's the Godfather table where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
You can see
we
everybody.
just keep like scooching in like every single
Yeah.
time somebody.
Hey,
We were kinda
Mario,
to be that.
welcome.
Yeah.
Little too fancy for the frozen north here, but that is definitely a possibility at places you go out of this particular territory. So it'd be
I would say then if that were the case, and if nobody's gonna jump on it, I would have probably put my back like at the head of the table, just to be like, I need the room for my notes.
okay. So have
You
you
need the room for walking around.
I mean, look, I got up a couple of times. I feel like, plus I'm short and it's the easiest kind of like space for me to crawl up on.
Okay. So I want Ono and Ythryn to make a perception check for me.
I shall. Let's
Oh, word.
go. Let's go. What's up?
Your die got in the way of mine.
What?
On my
Not on
screen,
my
it hit your die, and I went from a 15 to a 7.
Word. It would be, I would say Ono, you, and I'm gonna say Irini would probably sit, in the other seat with like our other non-here, and me-controlled characters, so Matra and Spit, sitting very close by. You would hear the voice of what sounds like an older woman talking to Scramsax. Yes, I've heard rumors that there is a group here known as the Broken. You don't happen to know if they've been through Brinchander recently, do you? And Scramsax would like look to her, and he would like set his glass down, like give her a once over. Ono and Ythryn, you would be able to see the image of an older looking woman. Her hood pulled down as she's inside the building. You see short white hair, an eye patch over one of her eyes, and on her shoulder is a snowy owl. You see Scramsax gives her a really stern look and kind of like gauges her, gauges her as a individual. Well, it depends who's asking. And she would begin talking to him. Well, I've heard, mumblings of the power that they've had, and I'm looking for people to maybe help me with something. And they catch me as a group who, well, other than maybe enjoying themselves some coin, are maybe not wanting to stay here forever, much like myself. So I would really like to speak with them if you could give me information on where I could find them. And Scramsax would he would give a nod. I'm gonna say he would look over to the table. He would see probably Ono and Ythryn kind of looking over this direction, and he would point to 50-50 now.
If he's like gesturing towards us, could I kind of gesture towards Ono and like, hey, let's go to the bar real quick?
I would
Versus-
probably I would put my hand up and I would be like hold on, wait 1 second. I'd just be it would be like just 1 second, because then I point at my temple like we got this. Hold on 1 second. So her back is to us, right?
Correct. She's talking to Scramsax. Scramsax can see you. She isn't looking at you right now.
So in my best attempt at a disguise
Conference call!
No, I'm not conference calling her. I'm just gonna straight up message her. And I'm gonna put my like fingers over my lips, and I'm gonna point with my pinky at her, like the back of her head.
Yep.
And in a disguised voice, I'm gonna be like, "Pick the empty booth off to the corner. A representative of the broken shall meet you shortly."
I want you to make a performance check with advantage.
Oh, okay. With my +1 charisma,
You heard me.
I will take it. I will take that 17.
Okay. As like she's having this conversation, you send out this message. You can tell that like she receives your message and she like stops her conversation for a moment, and she like looks around, doesn't put two and two together that maybe it's all of you, at least at a first glance here, and then tells Scramsax, it sounds like I might have received my answer. Thank you, sir. Anyway, we'll be in touch. And she like with her oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. She would quickly make her way to the to a booth off to the side as requested, and set her stuff down. What you would also see is that besides her snowy owl that is with her, you see another short individual kind of runs inside from outside, looks around, sees that she's walking over to a booth, and then comes and then sets down a pack alongside her, and then runs out of the Northlook and disappears off into town somewhere.
Oh, wait, well, hold on. Who the hell was this person? Who the hell was this?
So this person has like a legit like Harry Potter's owl in the bar right now.
I don't worry about the owl. I want to worry about this courier who just dropped something at this chick.
Yep, they were. You could not get a look at their face. You do recognize, though, based off of how they were moving, they are either something that is similar to either like a goblin or a kobold, based off of stature and how they were running. But they were like completely coated head to toe for like snow protective gear. So it was something small, and they took off. They brought a pack, and they took off out of the room.
Can you make... I just really quickly look at Spit, and I'm like, do you smell goblin? Yes or no? Can we have Spit do a quick roll to smell? If he did, then at least I know what it was.
Oh yeah, no, I'll make sure he does it. Give me 1 second here. He's also partaking in some of the booze, so you're gonna see he's a bit over dramatic in his how he does his sniff check.
I'm proud of him. Anything he does is perfect.
We made this man so swell and now a raging alcoholic as well.
Raging out. He drinks. What's it called? Bar swill. It's not that bad. For a goblin his age, he's a growing boy.
As Spit does a humongous inhale through his nostrils between taking bites of food and drinks from the bar swell tankard. He looks to you, oh no, and he kind of just shakes his head. No goblin here.
You're perfect.
I know.
No, I know. You're perfect.
No stinky.
No, I got it. 100%. I believe you. All right. Perfect. And I like slide like my bread over to him. Here you go. Okay. And I make sure I say this to the family as cleanly as possible. I just go, please pay attention, and then I start to scribe out with my quill, my magic quill. The lady at the bar wants to speak to us, our family. The chick with the snowy white owl on her shoulder. I have no idea what that little person, maybe a kobold, probably courier, just dropped to her. I'm going to say we should talk, but let's be polite and not wholly suspicious off the tip, because we just killed a dragon, so we're amazing. And
I
that's
will
where-
also point out the last cobalt we ran into a vampire and killed it in an alley.
Look, I mean, there's only so many things we can. We could, you know what? I look at Athros and I was about to say we could kill a vampire, and then I just look at Athros and I go, we could negotiate with a vampire. We should be fine. We're fine.
Yeah, or become one.
That's, honestly, for
an
research
option.
purposes alone, yeah, Athros is right, 100%. So, and I point back. I'm like, let's just do this. We'll send. Spit has food all over his face.
Oh yeah, it's stuck between his teeth everywhere.
We'll send Spit over and have Spit let her know that we're sitting at the big table. Is that too much, or should we just walk over there and be like, hey, not that the whole family wants to walk and talk to you, but like I did kind of say a cool thing.
I think maybe a couple of us go over there.
That's fair.
Send Miris. Let him do the talking.
Ooh,
I'm a
Beers,
skeleton.
wanna go?
I say I can be the muscle if Miris wants to do the talking.
Boom. Miris, you got it, man.
I guess I
got your back.
I guess I
like
can
to
do.
pat him on the back.
I guess I can do some talking.
I'll back you up. It's okay. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Come on, kitty. And I hop down from
All
the
right.
table and do my little quick walk over there. I like game face. We're about to do a business deal. I put my business face on. Excuse me. Pull up my scarf, so it's just like my nose that's barely showing my eyes.
Okay.
I pop into the booth and I go, just bear with us 1 second. The rest of my associates will be sitting down momentarily. Good evening. To you, you asked for our presence.
Indeed I did. I am anxiously looking to talk to members of the Broken here. If that is you and your compatriots, then, well, we might be... Well, we should have a conversation.
I
What, you
scan...
need some blasting?
And when you say that, I scan the bar. It is pretty much us, this lady, and like one or two other patrons, right?
Yeah, not that many. You suspect that probably within the next hour you're going to start seeing things pick up. It's just a little bit later than normal.
Copy. Okay. Yes, my my family member has so delicately put. We are very good at blasting. We are the Broken, and I kind of like gently nudge Miris as they slide into the booth. As I'm like, this is our resident tomologist, and our fearless head of security, and I am the house artificer and wizard. We are the Broken, just some of us. So who, may we ask, are we dealing with before we get into a business proposition deal? So on, so forth. Yeah.
I can understand. The formality of conversation generally requires introductions. no stranger to that particular bit of forte. Pardon my rudeness interrupting your dinner. Over on the other end of the room, my name is Vellynne Harpell. I am, unfortunately, like I'm assuming all of you, stuck here in the frozen everlasting winter of the rime that the goddess Oral has cast upon this land, but I'm looking for some assistance in maybe being able to end this wintry abyss that we've found ourselves in. Let me ask, is that something that you as a group are interested in as well, or do you find yourselves content living in this frozen wasteland?
Buff table super quick.
Yeah.
Miris, you have what's your insight?
It's 11.
11. Okay.
I have a +1. Well,
You have a +1. Damn. This would be an Aethros moment. Okay.
Did I
Can I
come
make
with
a
them
quick
or no?
insight on her?
What was that,
Sorry,
Jonathan?
I was just saying, did Ono drag me with, or am I still at the table?
I think it's the three of us.
To my knowledge, it was Big Toon, Miris, and Ono who went over to the table.
Okay.
Can I just do a quick insight on her? Because like
Yeah,
our
you could.
paths clearly are aligned in this moment of just like, of course we want to stop the rhyme. But that's too.
Can I do like? I'd like to get like as much of a sense about this person as I can. Can I do like an investigation check?
Yeah,
Just
I'd
to
allow it.
get. Okay. Just
Yeah,
like I just want to make sure I know what's going on with like visually with them.
Chick's got a bird, dude.
Okay.
You said she had an eye patch, right?
Indeed she does. Sorry,
Yeah, like I guess I'd want to know like how well armed is she? How generally dangerous could would she look if she decided to attack? All that kind of silly stuff. Not that Big Tuna would be worried about it, but he just likes to be prepared.
That's exactly where your head of security.
Yeah, I'd like to do an ocular pat down.
I need to make you sunglasses so you can like press them up
Okay.
to the side of your face.
As oh no, you listen to what she says. You can feel while there is some form of possible ulterior motives hidden within her words, you can tell that she does seem to be aligned with you in the sense that we would like to end this everlasting rhyme. The extent of why, you can tell it doesn't just end there. There's probably more to it, but there is an alignment, definitely, that she seems to be seeking. As far as you, Big Tune, for looking her up and down, she doesn't seem physically like physical prowess. She doesn't seem like she'd be someone who could overpower you. She looks like an older human woman. That's not to say older human women can't be strong, but she does not give off those vibes. You feel in like an arm wrestling match or a physical fist fight, you could probably take her. What you can't get a feel for is if she's potent in magic, how strong she could be. If she's not physically strong and she's here, she's got to have something else that's helping her get along. I will say that you, as you're looking her up and down, you catch a glimmer of something shining from one of like the sconces. Like a flicker of flame seems to shine over part of her clothing, and you see what looks to be a pin on part of her coat. It looks like it's a diamond with two almost like horned streaks running over it. I'll send you a copy of the image that you see.
Is this something that I would recognize?
Yeah, I'm gonna have you make a history check because traveling in the south, you might have encountered this group before.
History.
While they're talking to this chick, could I step outside and see if I see that person that Ono was talking about?
You could, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that's sick.
As you see this symbol, you recall seeing it at least one other time in your travels. It was not a good encounter with this individual who was like bearing this symbol. You recall that they were looking to try and get a reading from the dreamer that had traveled within your within the Strong Shield caravan, who helped guide where you guys were going. They seemed to try and to force their way into your camp to try and get a reading from this individual, but you do recall that they mentioned that they were from a group known as the Arcane Brotherhood.
Mm.
Okay. Valerie Harper.
Interesting.
Hey,
Yeah, I'll let it play out for now.
yeah. The extent of how you know them, it seems to be limited to that particular interaction, based off of just your like the Arcane Brotherhood. You're not sure how old the organization is, but you do recall the name and that experience with them.
Okay.
So she would
I respond. I go.
Okay.
Our paths could very well align. We just have to see how far that road goes. Well, Ms. Hapnell?
Harpell.
Harpell. I apologize. We have a
Offense not taken.
yeah, we have a tendency to mess up names in this family, so please take no offense. Now or future references of your name.
I have never messed up a name ever.
I don't believe you ever have. I don't think any of us have. I'm just saying, you know what? At the time when we were messing up names, we didn't have our Tomes Master with us, and I gesture over to Miras. So don't hold that against us. So how? Not to be rude, right, Miras? It'd be a little rude to ask like, how deep are we about to walk into this? But like, what extent will it take, by your means, to with our hands, to end this sufferable rhyme? Right? Is that rude, Miras?
I don't think it is.
Well, tell me, before I get too involved here, the question that I have for you in particular, and she would like point to, like, not really paying as much attention to your bodyguard Bictune. She would look at Ono and Miras. What do the two of you know about an ancient empire from a plane far away, known as the Empire of the Netherrealm?
The Empire of the Netherrealm.
Netherrealm.
Netherrealm. Sorry, I got wax in my ears.
I mean, should I throw a history check?
I would say the two of you can make history checks. Ono, you could make yours with advantage because of your time in Sigil.
Then I tap Miras gently on the lower, right where his kneecap is, and give him guidance. Then, real quick.
All right, so you'll have a 1d4 for situational bonus for your roll, Miras.
Roll a 4. Roll a 4.
Roll crit 4. Crit 4. Let's go.
All right, so we got a 24 and a 12. Oh no, Miras, this name itself, you might have heard of it once or twice in your readings in Xianu when you were studying your literature. Oh no, you recognize this name almost immediately. While not native to the plane of Vas'Kai, the mumblings, especially because of your time in Sigil and the doorways that open to various planes, You do recall that in the planes that have just been dubbed as the Forgotten Realms, that the Netherreal Empire was a powerful source of wizards, and it was a human empire that had great mastery of the weave, and even to this day was vastly unsurpassed. Um, you recall that they've created magic that was more powerful than a wish spell that allowed them to essentially create floating cities that were essentially overturned mountains that they built their structures upon. And when I believe it was the Sundering happened, and everyone lost connection to the weave, some of these places tried to escape into other planes to avoid the effects, but alas, that's not quite how it works. And many of these cities, as they fell to the ground, losing their ability to float due to the magic, had been destroyed or lost to time. But in your histories and your readings, both as part of the Thousand Hands Caravan and your time in Sigil, traveling through various other locations, you've never heard of one being here in the plane of Vas'Kai. But you've heard of the Empire of Netheril before.
I steal all of myself to not seem extremely excited. It, Madam, I am intrigued for my family's behalf on the proposition of this venture and your history, as it were. Oh, Miris, there we gotta. Ooh, we gotta. This is a good fish. This is a good fish, Miris. Okay, okay. How dangerous arcanotech are we talking? I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. What what would you technically need from us in all of serious terms? Because again, we are kind of in a time crunch.
Well, yeah. Here's my question to you. I mean, I don't much appreciate being ignored, but
I was pointing at you.
what ma-
That's true.
no, no. She clearly asked the two of you the question and not me. But what makes you think that we need like any sort of help ending this rhyme? Because last time I checked, and I look at my wrist, pretending to look at a wristwatch, we took care of that dragon. We've taken care of several other issues with all of Ten Town so far, and we haven't even had very much trouble with it at all. So what makes you think that we have to help you or anything like that when we could probably take care of it on our own?
Well,
Smile.
I suppose you might be right. You might have the ability to end this on your own, and for that, maybe our deal that I would like to strike is, well, inert. There's no reason to dive into it. But should you be intrigued, should you desire maybe items that you are craving that might be have been created before even the city of Ten Towns itself was founded. There's a lot of history, there's a lot of secrets, a lot of, I don't want to say lore keeping to be had, but to help me with my quest will open up vast opportunities, not just for yourselves, but for the entirety of this land we call Ten Towns up here in the frozen north of the Icewind Dales.
Big tune.
Not to mention I would be, of course, paying you for assisting me if you're intrigued by money.
I mean, like, I look at Big Tune and I solely focus on Big Tune. And I go, we could absolutely do this with no one help. But the access to greater materials would be an extreme benefit to our family. And I feel there's an itch in my temple. I know what Ythryn is thinking right now, and I agree wholeheartedly. Yes. No, we can do this, but think of what more we could do with access to the materials that we gain by aligning with this personage. Just think about it. I trust your
I suppose. But I mean, it just sounds to me like they're trying to steal our thunder.
I don't think so. The thunder tank is really heavy. You're not being rude. You're not very strong. Or unless that owl gives you. You know what? We'll talk about that in a second. No, Big Tune. In all of the sense of what our name is, I believe Valerie Bertinelli here is.
Vellynne.
I'm sorry. Again, it happens. I'm sorry.
No offense, just making sure I correct you.
No, I appreciate that. Vellynne here. See, I can do it. Vellynne here is Vaseline over here is using us as our namesake. We are a golden opportunity. I honestly don't think we should turn someone who needs help. And I use my eye that is not facing this woman to wink at Big Tune as subtly as possible.
Make a stealth check for me.
I'm not good at stealth.
Better than me.
Oh, that was almost a 20. What the hell? So yeah, I tilt my head to the side. It's an obvious wink. Yeah, you can literally hear my eye open and close. Yeah, Kitty, Miras is stunned. Look at Miras. Miras thinks is wild. Miras, you fall asleep? No, you're not asleep. Sorry.
Nope.
100% awake. See? Ready. Action ready. I think we should take this. I think we should do this. I think we should have a conversation with the whole family.
Yes, by all means. Take your time. You can discuss among your peers the remainder of your broken about the offer that I have here. Now that I've found you, I can assure you that...
This is gonna weird. This is gonna get weird. I whistle, and I go, "Hey, Spit, get everybody over here. Come here."
I was literally thinking about doing the same thing. Like, guys, get over here.
I saw the look in your face. Without it being a real thing. I'm like, I looked at you, Kitty. I'm like, yeah, no, we got it together. I'm sorry. I'm just 2 seconds. Hey, guys, come here. Let's go.
Sorry, we don't deliberate. We just act in the moment. So
and you
we're
would
just
see,
gonna
like,
discuss this now.
Here, after hearing Ono yell at the Spit is just like trying to like actively. He just jumps out of his chair. He stumbles for a hot second, and then he like begins patting everybody like, "We can't go. They call across room. Let's go now." And just like pushes it like to get everyone to get up and move.
I'm gonna slide in right here. I'm just gonna actually, you know what? I can actually sit on the edge of the table over here. It's fine.
Yeah. I lower my hand. Just jump up. You can sit on my shoulder.
I can provide you with more seating if necessary.
Cool. No, we're good. No, it's fine. We'll all squeeze in here, right here. Ythryn, squeeze in right next to Vellynne Harpell, right over here. Slide right in here. Go ahead. Athros, Irene, right over here. Matra, right here. Just squeeze. Bring this chair over here. Kitty, grab that chair right behind you. Cool.
Unfortunately, Ythryn would be outside by now.
Yeah, Ythryn would not be at the table. Seeing as how you're out there too, Ythryn, make an investigation check. Since you would have dipped out to try and follow the suspicious person. So you, just because it's... Yeah, anyway, as you are moving You move out of the room, you see a set of footprints that look a bit different than footprints you've encountered from the townsfolk here. It does not take much, as they have left very clear imprints in the snow that is falling. Not a blizzard by any means, but a small snowstorm through Bryn Shander right now. You see the footprints lead around the side of the Northlook and dip into the nearby alleyway.
Yeah, so I, as stealthily as possible, like to follow that.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Oh,
Very nice.
oh my God, you are the.
I am the knight.
Yeah,
As
he's
you-
literally Batman.
As you
Bring
step
this
outside,
up.
I just envision it as like the kid disappearing meme with like the
Yes.
peace sign in their hand. You just like disappear into the snow.
Gone. One
Um,
frame, next frame
fol-
gone.
Yeah, stepping into like other townsfolk's like footprints as best you can to avoid creating your own tracks. You are able to sneak your way around to the back of this alley, and what you see as you get there is what looks to be 4 total figures of that short stature. Based off of what you see and kind of how like Oh No tried to describe them by using spit, they seem to be kobolds that are all curled up in winter clothing, standing in front of what seems to be someone's transport sled that has been left here, and you see like the footprints, what looks to be like from Vellynne, who you just know as the old woman, that head inside. They almost stand there as if they're like they stand in like a standby position. They're not like freezing. They're not like like actively trying to keep warm. They just seem to be like standing there as if they're NPCs waiting to be put on screen, just standing at an idle, reminding you a lot of the skeletal sheriff that Athros now has with him.
Huh.
Yeah. That's wild.
Ythryn is puzzled and doesn't know what to do. Yeah, if you want to pan back to them, you can. I have to think about what I want to do here.
As Ythryn is trying to process this information, the rest of the party would come up to the table where you would be at this larger booth. I envision that since not one table is usually big enough, that we'd pull over another empty one with the lack of patrons and create a secondary large table at this on this side of the Northlook.
We could have made this easier, but we like to do things uniquely.
As the last person sits down. So this is the remainder of your troop, the Broken, is that correct?
This is quite literally the majority of us. We are missing, a few key players at the moment, but this is the majority of us right here.
Would you say that you're the decision-making bunch of the group? The people who control where the journey takes you?
We, as a collective, kind of vote on that. So without that key member, we kind of, we make that decision when, they show up.
I would end up walking back. Everyone would be too confused on what's going on, and I'd walk back into
The table is empty.
You like walk in, everyone is migrated over, and you see that we are now all sitting next to the woman with the snowy owl.
But
I wave my fingers over you. Come on.
I start walking.
It's funny, we were talking about decisions without the sum total of our family. So we can kind of make those decisions now, as, the majority of us now have become the whole of us here, save for 2 silent members. But, they're doing other amazing work. But, yeah, we're here. You're not going to, teleport us anywhere right now, because we just ate. I don't want Spit to throw up.
Well, before we decide things, can I have 2 questions answered?
Sure. Introductions first would be quite nice. I've heard your name, but the individuals themselves, I can't say I know who everyone is. And she would like look to all of you. Since 3 of you here know who I am Vellynne Harpell. And you are?
Ythryn.
And then she would like look to Athros. And you are?
Some guy.
Yeah, that's not his name. That's not. He's going. He is experiencing an amazing section of their life right now. That's our
Is
brother.
this really
Athros.
necessary? Let's just
It
move on
is.
with it.
It is. You are a beautiful person, and you should be recognized
I
for
blush.
it.
Wait, what was that?
I blush when he says I'm a beautiful person. Oh, stop it.
See, I told you.
I'm
Anyway,
Athros.
thank you. I appreciate that. See, compliments go a long way.
And then you'd hear Irini. And I'm Irini. I guess, pleasure to meet you. And then, like, Matra and Spit would introduce themselves too. And there'd be, like, a nod. And she would look back and she would see the, did you bring the skeleton with you, Athros?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 100%. He's got to be sitting in the booth.
She would look over to it and she'd look at you, Athros, as you're, like, hesitant to, like, tell her who you are too at the beginning. And she'd be like, a marvelous specimen, if I do say so myself.
And isn't he great?
This energy. This energy. Okay. Kitty. Be polite. Introduce yourself. Like nudge.
Hang on one second. I'm having some technical difficulties for a second.
Yeah, no
Oh,
problem.
you're good. You're good. Well, okay. They have beer mustache. Don't worry about Kitty right now. That's fine. I'm. Oh no, it's you. I'm.
Okay, I'm back. Victor got lost thinking about food for a second.
You're good.
Well, the introductions was my first question, and you kind of just answered the second question. I was gonna say, what's up with the zombie or skeleton kobolds out back?
Oh, that's why. Okay. See, now there's more necromancy in this neighborhood than I was prepared for this morning.
I'm sorry, what did you ask her, or what did you say? I missed that part.
I said the way that she kind of gestured towards Athros and the skeleton for what she said. I said that kind of makes sense for what's out back. I said, what's up with the skeleton or zombie-like kobolds out back by your carriage?
You're an observant one, aren't you? Can't say I blame you. You want to know the inner workings of, well, those you may or may not want to ally with, I suppose. I can understand your desire to know that information. Yes,
Yeah,
those are my traveling companions that I have for now. I want you to think about this for a moment. We are in a Arctic wasteland where most places where you travel, you're either pulling a sled by a sled dog or you're pulling, yourself on top of an axe beak to travel across the snow. Why do that when they need to rest? I stumbled upon some corpses and brought them back to pull a sled for me. And thankfully, in comparison to living creatures, they don't need to stop and rest, which makes my travel across the wasteland so much faster.
Makes a note in my spell book.
I mean,
Necromancy is
that's
great for resource
fine by
management.
me. As you can see, we clearly have a party member of that. I'm more or less concerned, A, are you trying to replace us for a upgrade? And B, quite frankly, I'm just tired of people thinking we need to help them when in reality they need our help more than we need them.
I mean, I don't recall saying that you physically needed to help me, but I did request your assistance. No one's forced to do anything. If you say no to my offer, that's fine. I will find another traveling group of similar prowess. perhaps traveling through the north, but you are the one that's name is most renowned among these 10 towns here. So I was trying to offer you money in exchange for service. Plus, not all of us want to be stuck here in the frozen north for the rest of our lives.
Who's to
Yes.
say we can't do this deal? Ythryn, come on, it could be destiny.
Oh,
You know?
I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying because there are, and as sarcastically and dry as possible, Ebern's about to say, because there's just so many adventuring parties coming up here that there are so many options.
3 to be specific. 3 adventuring parties that come to mind as possible options for being able to complete what I need.
Takes a sip of my drink, and we seem the only ones to be doing anything about anything. But yeah,
You could
what do you
make
got to
that
say?
like 2 or 1 other parties.
Right.
Yeah, I
Eliminate
make a
the
mental
competition.
note. That's what I said. I was just gonna say. I make a mental note to track down and eliminate the other 2 parties.
Above
Yeah.
above table, there was something mentioned like a game or 2 ago about like there is another adventuring party that we kind of are indirectly in opposition to at the moment. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was mentioned in like passing.
I've never heard of them, so they can't be that big of a deal. They haven't saved 10 towns yet.
Exactly.
Look, Aethra, you are again 100% correct, and I'm not going to argue this at all. I just in the loosest sense of the term, I am agreeing with Ythryn. You very much are following in line with some what feels like a predestined kind of choice. You really should not choose another party. We are the broken for a reason. So no, there you need us. And it's not rude to say. It's okay, It's fine. It makes it you know what? It makes Kitty's job easier.
Of the traveling groups, you are both the largest and the one with the best track record for doing good deeds. So it seems fitting that I would ask you for assistance versus another.
I mean, that's because we're awesome. We're kind of we're kind of cool people. I mean, like, have you not seen Arini? Like, honestly, Arini is a virtuoso. Just magic on strings.
And she would like pull out her lyre and just like slowly like glide her hand across the strings and would like emanate like prestidigitation style like glimmery sparks for a second.
Perfect. See, like it's just magic. Like we are there's a reason. Not to be cocky about this. I don't want to be like Miris. I feel like this is. I'm not trying to be cocky, but I feel like there's a reason it's us, right? Because we're kind of good. We're kind of really good. I mean, you saw there's a dead Charlatan dragon. Miris kicked the crap out of that thing. Big Tune. Final blowed it. Not that sounded weird. Sorry.
Oh, I'll final blow anything.
Yeah, we're gonna run with it. Yep. And you know what? We do amazing things all the time.
You would hear Spit chime in. Big Tune blow many things.
And you know what? That our footman is 100% correct. So we I think we can we need some more details, but I think we could possibly work together. I don't want to speak for the whole family, but we need more details. I feel like between I like gently gesture widely to Ythryn and Aethros and Big Tune. I think between the the Council of Minds, we definitely, we gotta get some more information before we can climb in this cart. Also, I don't want to upset Miris. I mean, like, I do the hand over one side of my face, and I go, he's the loose cannon of the group.
So is this a sign that you are truly interested in what I have to offer you as far as both work and a desired mutual beneficiary.
I'm intrigued.
I mean, it depends on what you're gonna say, but yeah, we're interested.
You did mention on your end too that you have your own time constraint.
I mean, yes, but I do feel that these are like in the same, market,
Your time constraint is her, and I point at Matra. Sister is probably coming here again in a matter of 2 days, or steal more of my blood and try to take over 10 towns.
And on the
then
other
I
side, we
awkwardly smile.
On the weirder side, we have to go find her other sister to kind of stop the evil sister with this unnamed sister. Guys, it's a weird family thing. But yeah, I mean, we kind of are in a little pinch. Athros is busy. Miras has things to do.
Let me tell you what I require your assistance for, and if it intrigues you, I would like to say that while this is something that would be great to solve right now, if you're interested, I am willing to wait until you are in a much better time space to be able to actually pursue it. But I'll give you what I need you to know first, and you can make your decision as a group on whether or not you'd like to help me, and we go from there. How does that sound?
I don't know, Miras. I don't know. What do you think, bud? This character. Like, wiggle my eyebrows a little bit.
I don't know. Do we have enough time to help her out at all, or should we just focus on other things for now?
I mean, you're correct. We kind of do need to kind of focus on other things, but this is kind of falls in line with what we're ultimately doing, right, Kitty? I mean, we are kind of trying to solve this big overall problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm down to listen, but I think Irene and I, if possible, would like to pet your owl.
Irene is literally like trying to lean over your shoulder. I don't know if that's a possibility. Could they pet the owl while we talk business?
You would hear Vellynne kind of let out a sigh and extend her arm outward so the owl can land, hop down onto the table. She would look at Irene and she'd look at Ythryn and then the rest of the party. Do be careful. He is known to bite. But I suppose if you want to try it, your fingers, not mine.
They're world-class animal handlers. We have 2 extremely well-trained polar bears.
I'm gonna make Irene and Ythryn, if you are also someone who wanted to pet your owl, it would be a animal handling check.
I can do that.
What's your animal handling, bro?
I have advantage because I read one of the books.
Oh, sick.
Was it which book are we thinking of? Because there was the Beasts of Burden one that you read. I physically can't remember what the other one was that you have.
You have a list, don't you? You wrote a list somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta look back on my previous things. That was like 2 PCs ago.
Books. Beast of Burden. Yeah. So I can re-roll since technically now it's not a Beast of Burden.
Oh, we would just use your first die, which would be a 7.
Okay.
It's okay. Irene rolled a 2, and that was a crit fail. So she not doing too hot. She would super excitedly extend out her hand to pet the owl, and it immediately would almost hiss at her, and in the standard owl fashion, and then just try to bite her finger. She reels her hand away. Yeah, you weren't kidding. He really likes to bite. As Ythryn, you would try to also like pet the owl, um, as it's like preoccupied trying to get at Irini's finger. You like reach out and try to grab it. You would be able to just ever so slightly crest its feathers before it would turn its attention toward you and try to do the same.
A pissed off.
I want to
bird.
try and put my hand out, like get it to, like, sit on my hand.
You oh man.
Hey,
really
Word.
about to make a zombie
No,
owl here.
skeleton. Gonna
Skeleton. Sorry.
investigate
There
it.
is-
See
there
if it
is
makes
a
a good
way to
skeleton.
do this. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
there is a way to do this.
Like,
Um,
what does this bone structure look like?
I mean, it is a standard owl, so it has the hollow bird bones. As you extend your arm outward and try to bring it, like try to get it to come to you, to land on your arm. This is gonna sound weird, but I'm actually gonna also, based off of our experiences with this altered state of Athros, I'm gonna have you also make a intimidation check using wisdom instead of charisma.
Ooh.
Okay. I think I can change it. So yeah, just change the wisdom. Hopefully
Or
it
just
works.
use your modifier and yeah. Okay.
Okay.
As you extend your arm outward, you like lock eyes with the owl for a moment, and it kind of like the two. I want to say for a moment, it's an extended stare. Owls are very observant, and the two of you like not so much share a connection, but rather It-
You know what true dark
as if it knows what it's supposed to do. It like walks across the table in its small fashion. It's rather large talons, leaving just small indentations as it moves, and it flutters its feathers for a moment and hops up onto your arm, and just like looks around once again as if it's supposed to be there. It looks at Vellynne, looks at the rest of the party. You see its head turn almost at 360 degrees as it it stands there comfortably perched on your arm.
Yeah, so I lift it up, look at it like at eye level, and look at like its bones and its wings. I'm like, no, hollow bones are too weak, and I set it down.
And it it ruffles its feathers once again, like as if to quickly like flutter off your arm, and it lands back down on the table.
Ythryn, you had to be rude to the bird.
You do see that seemed to also in many ways calm it down after pecking at both Ythryn and Irini. It was a interesting interaction.
the bird.
You would see as like this event transpires, Vellynne would speak to the members of the party. I need your help finding an ancient city buried under the ice. This city is known as Ythryn. For note-taking purposes, Ythryn.
Okay.
It is a lost fragment of the Empire of Netherrealm, whose wizards created many of the magic items we find scattered across the world today. It holds magic beyond our wildest dreams. We might even be able to find something there to end this hateful winter. Are you intrigued?
I would like
Yes.
to roll an insight check.
Okay.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
I'm gonna give
That
myself
was gonna be
guidance.
so good.
I was gonna say I was gonna give you advantage. Oh Jesus.
Still 17.
Similar to what we experienced with Ono trying to gauge this woman, you can tell that there is some form of ulterior, like there's other motives behind trying to find this city, but you can tell that there is a mutual alignment of ending this winter would be beneficial to many parties. But there's more to it than just her just finding the city to do that. It seems that there's something else she wants.
I'm gonna look at not Athros. Sorry. I'm gonna look at Ono and clearly tell how excited he is, and be like, "So, do we ask about the other thing, or do you just want to keep going forward first?"
My quill is not in my hand. It's writing in the book a series of like garbled gnomish notes as my other hand is like violently and vociferously tinkering something to try to get this lady's attention to impress her. But I'm like calm on my face. I'm like, yeah, this sounds like something we could probably do. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you? I was reading
Nothing,
ahead.
nothing, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do. This sounds. This sounds like something we're interested in. I don't want to speak for our tome master, but any time that we can get down and learn a little bit more is, well, that's always good. Plus, apparently, Athros can read now.
Right.
What was that? I can?
Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah.
You read the menu this morning.
Did I? Or did I just pretend to?
You know what? I'm not even gonna question it. Not even gonna question it. Nope. Not gonna question it. Yeah, is there like a secret handshake? We gotta go to a portal. Is there like please don't no bloodletting. I think Ythryn is scared of needles at this point.
I'm sorry. What now? She would like. I'm not going to take you through a gateway to find things. No, we're cut off from a resource that would allow us to do that.
You just gotta ask. You never know.
I also don't really have a care for your individual bloods, so you don't have to worry about myself extracting some, I suppose. I'm going to assume there's a reason why you said that. I don't really care for the answer, though.
That's fair. Okay, cool.
Anyway,
Insight check that. See if she actually does really want her blood.
I mean, you can, based off of your, I was gonna, yeah, okay, that's fine.
I'm
You can-
doing it anyway.
I want to roll.
I want to roll.
You can tell
I
that
want to see if I don't believe her.
she gives you no indication that she actually wants your blood for some other nefarious purpose.
But she's not a vampire. Okay, damn.
All right. Okay. All right.
Anyway, using divination magic, the Arcane Brotherhood has learned that the city is buried deep inside the Reghed Glacier, but the glacier can be cracked open at a place where a waterfall once flowed, but has since frozen over. We have already found the waterfall. All we need now is the magic to break open the glacier.
Loosely, does this sound familiar to a site we may have been frozen on or near?
No, you would be referring to Calvin's Cairn.
Possibly. I was just throwing that out there. Okay.
Yeah, Reghed Glacier is all the way. It's away from 10 towns.
Cool. Okay. It's a ways away. All right.
It's far.
We in the boonies. This is in the upper P. Okay. Okay. All right. I mean, I love a good hidden city, Kitty. I do. I'm like saying this right in your ear. I'm like, I love a good hidden city. Like the mystery.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, no, yeah. So is this? I know geographically. I don't even think I need to make a roll. Geographically, these are in opposite directions of the long lost sister and this Reghed Glacier.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't even need to roll so much as look at the map of the Icewind Dales. You'd be able to get your answer.
Yeah. All right.
But, like I said earlier, if you have things that are more pressing, this city's not going anywhere. You still have roughly 2 weeks until we have to worry about a town putting out a sacrifice once more. There's time, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you have other things you need to focus on that I myself don't know much about beyond talks of sisters fighting sisters, if you are interested in taking upon this quest and being a part of this journey with myself, I can wait.
Ooh, is this like that moment in like Pillars of Eternity where you accept the quest but you tell the person to stand by? Yes.
I'm not saying it won't be treacherous to be able to both get there as well as survive while searching for the city within the glacier. So I can understand if you would like to knock out some, items of bigger importance to your group. I just ask whether or not you are going to take this upon yourself, because that determines what I do. Do I wait for you to complete what you need, or do I hunt down another adventuring party? Either way.
You don't. You don't go to another adventuring party, because they're definitely not us. No, man. Okay. No, I'm about this. Are you guys about this? I'm about this. I think I'm about this. We do need to tie up some loose ends, or at least, we gotta do the sister thing, but guys. I think we should yes this.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Yes. That's another yay. I'm pretty sure Aethra said yes immediately as soon as
have
offered.
We said what we're gonna get in return for this, or is it just?
I mean, gold and access. No, we're getting like gold and access to magical items and things to increase our. She said some pretty sexy stuff.
Yeah. So what is it exactly that you're looking for in this magical floating, not floating city buried in ice?
The city?
I mean, are you planning to take over the city, or is there something specific you want in the city?
No, some ancient power.
Do you not even know what's really down there?
Extra abilities or something.
Well, as I've mentioned in conversation, but maybe not truly declared outright, I am a member of a group known as the Arcane Brotherhood. I'm sure some of you have heard of us as an organization. Depending on where you go, we have certain reputations. But the Arcane Brotherhood would like to know what remains of the city of Ythryn, and, if possible, break the spell upon this land so that more of us can come and investigate. But there is personal importance of trying to uncover this mystery, as truthfully, I know what items we need to break the magic of the spell, or break the magic to open the glacier. There's 2 objects that I require. One is known as the Professor's Orb, which is a family heirloom of mine, which has been stolen from me from another member of the Arcane Brotherhood trying to find the glacier themselves. The other item...
Brotherhood.
I did not say that we were, in fairness. The other item is, well, the magic behind this whole endeavor. A book known as the Codicil of White, which contains rituals and the magic required to open, or in better terms, split the glacier and grant us entry. I need both of these items, because the Professor's Orb has essential information for traversing the city of Ythryn, which in and of itself can take days upon days to cross. It is a large city carved out of a flipped, upside-down mountain. Those are what I need to make this endeavor happen. But if we can free the spell across the north here, it will allow more of my people to come and help investigate everything that this city of Ythryn has to offer. Now, I don't know how familiar all of you are with Netherese wizards and their functions and the spells that they have created, but something that powered Netheril cities that floated through the sky across continents and maintaining that constant hover was an item, a powerful magical item, known as a mythalar. These represented the core of these cities, and every city or structure that was part of the Netherese Empire had one. I do suspect that if we could find the mythalar within the city of Ythryn, that we could, well, activate it, so to say, and rather than using it to try and raise the city up into the air, because there'd be a bit too much resistance to make that happen, we could force, using its power, a change in the weather patterns that would overrule Auril's ability to cast her spell.
Speaking some wild stuff here.
I know it sounds crazy to many people, but I can assure you that my information that I have, it is good. I truly believe that what we're searching to find here is exactly where we need it to be. We just need to be able to enter. I will also say, too, that by trying to pursue an endeavor like this, it will probably raise your notoriety in the eyes of Auril herself. Which means if you don't feel yourself that you might be strong enough to take upon this quest that I am, and she reiterates it again, willing to pay you for, it might be better for you to do what you were planning and continue to pursue your more time-limited items. Maybe bolster your strength a little more.
Okay, alright. Message received. We ain't no punk. We know how to deal with a heavy storm.
So how much gold are you actually talking about paying us to essentially take over a flying city for you? Is the gist of what I'm getting? I mean, a city would cost a lot of money.
Or formerly flying.
Yeah, who's to say we couldn't just do it and then take everything?
I mean, we need her help to get there and open up the ice, it sounds like, so we do need some of her help. But
I know magic.
Yeah.
Right, but it sounds like
me
she's already
too.
capable enough to
Big student of
take
magic.
care of Oral, so why don't you just do that, and then everything becomes that much easier.
Look, if I get my hands on this mythalar, I could build a heat ray gun to melt her. That's facetious. Would be amazing.
yeah, so back to the question of how much gold are you willing to pay us?
I would like to reiterate that money in the north here is harder to come by than the pockets that I carry on my person. Now, with the Arcane Brotherhood as my foundation, we could sizably pay each of you, and she reiterates that, each of you, 5,000 gold pieces.
Oof.
I'd like to roll an insight check.
For a flying city? That's it?
Like I said, I can take my endeavors elsewhere. You're the largest traveling group of the three that the three that I know about here. I wouldn't be spending as much money if I went somewhere else. I could just leave.
Are you confident they could do it?
Because we can do it.
Yeah.
Ythryn, what are you trying to insight exactly?
One, that she even has the capability to pay us that amount. Two, that she has it, and the likelihood of her actually paying us.
You don't sense any other you don't sense any form of lie coming from her words. She genuinely gives you the appearance that she would be able to pay for such funds, and that she would have the ability to possibly carry that on her person somehow.
So yeah.
I would
Sounds
like to
she
say
could
5,000
pay.
gold is a lot of money for up here in 10 towns, but 5,000 gold as you travel south, should the spell be broken, well, that could pay for a large number of upgrades once you have access to better tools. Not to say that your friend here, and she would point down to Ono, who she'd be able to see there's some form of either tinker or smithing tools that you just have latched to your side or something, for easy access. That's not to say that your friend here couldn't build you something nice, but it provides you more padding in your pocket. You could buy any sort of things you could imagine. Do you want yourself your own keep? Do you want servants? Do you want, powerful magic
Keep
items?
for 5,000 gold?
I'm implying that with your, there's a total of, she would count you all out. Eight of you who are here. That's 40,000 gold in and of itself. You could buy a keep for 20,000 gold, and you still have half of your assets still there to fund it with servants, to, put out your own bounties on quests if you don't want to do them yourselves. Invest it. Bring your money back. You could go to Hiroshima or Hearthspeak and gamble it away for all I care. Or you could double your earnings with that in and of itself. There's many opportunities provided for you with the funds that I am willing to pay you for. You merely need to say, and she would in a less of her tone and more trying to imitate somebody else like Big Tune. Yes, I will gladly take upon myself this quest. Surely all you need to do.
Calm down, Big Tune. You don't have to jump the gun.
What?
Yeah, she tried to imitate you, so it'd be that. It was a really poor imitation.
No, I
in her
know.
eyes.
There's just a weird look on Big Tune's face, I didn't say that. Yeah,
I think as a family we should discuss without her.
Yeah.
By all means. Until I know your answer, I will be here. Within the Northlook today, but within Brinchander going forward. Should you say no, I will be searching out for somebody else to venture with me and complete this item that I request.
Won't be as good.
But I will not leave until I know your answer.
Yes. The vast two other parties. I would get up and go towards the other table.
We want to go somewhere maybe a little more private. That's just not a place you could eavesdrop on easily.
We could.
Fine. Athros, let's go upstairs on.
Oh, I was gonna
You sit at
say,
the table and get
yeah,
back
lady,
up.
if you could excuse us, and I just look at her, waiting for her to leave.
Yeah.
I'm on your shoulder, so I'm like, okay, well, it's very nice meeting you. Have a good evening. We'll be talking soon. We'll be in touch.
Oh, you wanted her to leave?
No.
Did you ask her to leave? It would be awkward
No,
if we all had to leave and you stayed. You know what? How
Yeah.
about you leave?
Yeah, this is our
Right.
bar.
This is our bar.
So, for realsies, the party was going upstairs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
To one of the
Yeah.
rooms. Okay. And, Scramsax, you guys still have your room keys. And he would, you would be able to go to, I would say, Big Tune and Athros' room that they slept in last night. Being probably the
Still in
bigger
there?
of the rooms. What was that?
The plates and stuff is still in there.
They
I
have...
cleaned up the plates.
Yeah, they've been cleaned up since you all departed in the morning to
What's in the
go
drawer?
have breakfast. Yeah, they're all gone. The room itself seems to have been like freshened up a little bit too. One of the attendants has like remade the like the straw bed that you guys have been sleeping on, or like closed all the the dresser drawers that like Ona was like sleeping in him and spit. Like it's clean, it's tidy. Your stuff, that if you've left anything here, your stuff is all still here. Because you haven't officially checked out of the room at this point, so you'd be left to your own devices.
I carve "Do not disturb" into the door, so that way they don't do that anymore, because I am proud of my mess.
Legitimately have a magic quill. We could have just, you know what? Doesn't matter.
As he just carves with like a
a
carving
Oh.
knife just into the door.
No,
Yeah, just one of his claws.
yeah, just straight up. It's
Right out with
with
a
my
claw.
claws. Yep.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, you're a cat. You've got claws.
there was a moment there. I lost train of thought for a second there. All right, you are able to carve "Do not disturb." Are you gonna write it in common or in like Leonin?
Uh,
There's some fucking people.
I mean, I feel like that's probably my natural language, so probably and then you guys will be like, "What in the hell?"
Love that for you.
Doodle
As
and
you
all.
you like whip out one of your like your index claw and you just write this into the door. A loud scraping noise can be heard as every like time you move, you pull out like a sliver of the wood itself, and it kind of like falls to the floor as you write it into the door. To you, it is magnificent. Leonin being your primary language, you write it and it looks wonderful. And like anybody who would see it, the script itself, the writing is actually very, very like ornate in how it's written. But the Miras, as you're like looking at the text, because you have eyes of the runekeeper, so you can read all writing. You see that while it's ornately decorated, the like interpretation of what is written, like the message is conveyed as "Do not disturb," but you see that like with the amount of letters that are written, the words themselves don't seem to like match. It's like a really unique looking language. Like it's the epitome of like the "why use more words when few words better," but the words are written out in this ornately decorated text, and it just means like "do not enter" or like "do not disturb." It's an interesting looking line of text that you're able to
Barring
pick
the
out.
moment that you cross this threshold uninvited, know that your life will be rendered from your entire self.
And
So
it just means
I'm
like
trying to look up what it would look like. Because there's no like official script for
There
what
is
Leonin
not.
looks like.
right.
Yeah.
So some people are saying that they think it's more like a cuneiform style or like a hieroglyph, and I'm just like, I just imagine I just drew a face with a big like no sign through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
It's like almost like a deviation of like Druidic, for example. It looks very, very nice though. A very beautiful drawing.
I don't know what you doodled, but it looks good. It looks good.
I just envision it like because like Ona was able to like use his quill and like has a really quick ability to like write things down. I imagine that's similar for you, but when you're writing in Leonin, so it's just like you really quickly and like greatly to fantastic detail are able to carve out like drawings inside this door, but only because that's you writing in your language. So it just makes sense.
That explains a lot of the weird scratchings and doodlings on the inside of the lightning tank now. I'm like, we keep getting rats. Like, they keep chewing up the wood and stuff right by Big Toon's bunk.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we clamber into the room and kind of like, all right, family powwow. How does everyone feel? Like, this is a good opportunity. The money sounds okay. I don't know if we can squeeze a little bit more money out of this lady, but
Money sounds terrible for what I think.
The money sounds wild. The money doesn't even make sense compared
Yeah.
to like the prestige of literally unearthing a dead arcane city
Yeah, that can fly. That's full of magical items. Like we don't get any of those magical items. She's just
Can
gonna
you
give us $5
imagine?
grand.
Well,
Like
hey, like if I can get a piece of that mytho stone, that
Yeah.
mythal arc, if I can get a piece of that mythal arc, can you imagine? We're just floating
Like-
through the skies in the lightning tank.
how about $5 grand or 5,000 gold each, and half the magic items in the city? Like
I don't know if I can make that many bag of
percentage points or something like that. Like, because we're gonna be doing all the heavy lifting. Let's be real.
It definitely does sound like she can afford to pay more. And I think on the pay wise, even without adding the extra items, we're getting lowballed.
Oh yeah. Because a small keep is 20,000 gold, so she's willing to pay us the same amount as 2 small keeps as an entire floating city.
I mean that, and we're also to put it in perspective. This is a big hike. The Reghed Glacier is on the other side of the Icewind Dales. We've been centrally kind of hanging out in the middle portion of the Icewind Dales. This would put us at the farthest point away from civilization.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to do it. It's just I want more, or maybe somewhere down the road we decide we don't need her anymore.
I mean, I agree. More would be better, or at least full scope of their plan. Even though I don't believe that we're gonna get that kind of knowledge. I think at least
What I would actually love to hear
first pick
is a certain someone's viewpoint on the whole situation, because they've been kind of tossed into it just like us and have had quite a bit of revelation happening to them in the last few days, weeks.
Yeah, Miras,
And
what do you think?
I'm actually gesturing towards Matra.
No. Miras is very. We need to really. We gotta take this into account. Okay, this is important.
So yeah, I kind of think we need to get more out of this deal besides just the 5,000 gold each. Like, I don't know, is there something in the city that, like, we can possibly negotiate for?
I mean, honestly, I think we should get first dibs on any magical item that we see.
Yeah. Like, and she doesn't know all of what's there besides that one orb thing, the central core to it.
This
can
is
control the
quite
city.
literally a piece of the Forgotten Realm that is been lost to time and is probably holding arcane secrets the likes that no one's eyes have ever seen before. So it's like, yeah, 5G a pop is nice. 40K walking out the door, that's kind of cool. Yeah, 40K a person though would be a
Maybe.
little bit wilder.
Yeah. No, we might find a paperweight in there that's worth more than $5 grand.
I could technically build a paperweight, yes, that would function quite literally as like a budget calculator for a small village, and it would be more than that of which paying us in total. Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
It's like everything in there will be worth more than what we're getting paid. And she'll be like, "Nope, you only get your 5,000.
I know, but we don't
Like,
also have we don't. Okay, so it would either be we also don't necessarily have a full-fledged market for us to be just selling recently unearthed arcanotech that has been
Everyone
lost to
could use
time
it.
and it has a historical significance and get a reasonable price. I'm thinking realistically.
Yeah, but we'll also have a flying city, so will we need to be buying? Like, we'll have everything at that point.
We'll have a frozen flying city. It is, to my understanding, at least historically, the site that they're referencing is like it crashed into the Reghed Glacier, or what is the now Reghed Glacier. It is like a part of it, inside of it. So to, I love this idea, is like to break the ice. No pun intended. To break the ice would be a significant and catastrophic event that I don't know if it would be a good idea to just erect, an entire floating city that may be holding back, wow, an actual waterfall that could decimate 10 towns.
Flying City.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like it's.
No, I mean, like, to get the lightning tank to fly would be awesome. Let alone if I could get it to do what I had originally intended to do and do some really crazy stuff. Yeah, this is a whole thing. Also, I gotta find a way to temporarily put the bears into, like, temporarily stasis area where they're not getting harmed. We got a lot of stuff. Going into this city would be a really good idea, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let's tackle one thing at a time. I would say I'd still want Matra. You have your possessed sister coming here in roughly 24, 48 hours. Your thoughts on everything that's transpired? What would you like to do?
I mean, my ultimate goal here is to save my sister more than anything else, truly. The idea of adventuring northward to a city lost in the ice over in the Reghed Glacier, I'm gonna be honest, if we save my sister, I don't really want... I'm probably not gonna want to continue to travel beyond 10 towns.
She don't want to go any further. She
Yeah.
don't want to be a part of this nonsense.
It's getting a bit above what I feel comfortable dabbling into myself.
Which sister are you trying to save?
Both?
Both would be nice.
You only said sister, singular, not plural, so...
And you
just
only said
double-checking.
possessed sister, singular, not plural. So the reference could be made that I was referring to Atina.
Well, I mean,
Technically, the
we
other
never even knew you had a third
free.
sister, so who knows? Maybe she's
Well,
possessed
that's
too.
the thing. She's probably walking free. She's probably in a tavern right now, drinking, having a good time, talking about her last adventure.
And you would hear Irini, like almost as if a revelation had come over her. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. You remember how we were talking a while back? I don't know how long ago it was now. I think when we first met Kanit, we were talking about it. Speaking of which, I don't know where he went off to. Anyway, I think we might have a solution to help free Atina from Hedrun. And she would, like, look to Aethros. And it's all gonna be on you, big guy. And she would, like, tap you on the shoulder, like, with a...
Another
like a love
skeleton?
tap.
Yeah.
No, not this time. So, it would be on the way. It might be... it's outside the forest, but it'd be on the way. It's by the Red Run. Me and Matra did a little digging of our own. Talked to some people who've been in 10 towns here for a while and know the local goings-on and all that fun jazz. And, well, there's a rumor that somewhere guarded in the spine of the world, there's a hammer that was crafted with the purpose of freeing spirits from other beings.
Oh.
He does like his hammers.
But can't all hammers do that if you just kill them with it?
Yeah, but this one you wouldn't have to kill them with it, though. You could do some damage and, like, hit them like you do. You're very good at that. But you wouldn't necessarily need to kill them to free the spirit, which would probably be a good thing, since if Atina's already undead and we kill her again. I don't think she's coming back. And then you hear Matra, like, please don't kill her again. And then Irina would be like, he makes no promises. As like, she like puts her hand out in front of Matra. I'm just saying, it sounds intriguing.
Technically speaking, we never killed her the first time. But
Nobody was saying that we didn't. I mean, nobody said that. I think it's more of we could be the catalyst to which she survives this better.
Right. While she is already undead, her spirit's not gone. It's tied to this undead husk, just like Hedrun's is. And right now, Hedrun, this frosty witch related to Ythryn, is overpowering her own spirit, which is why she can still take on the form of Athena and not just become this icy frost-crowned weirdo. So this might provide us with an ability to just force her out, and then we could just slay the spirit of Hedrun, and then Athena's body won't be, lost in the process, and she would probably be fine. Thoughts?
man, I sure do hope no spirit takes over my body.
Yeah, we'll overcome that when we get that far. She just shakes her hand out. We're like, it's fine.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
We'll figure it out.
If a spirit takes over you and we have this thing, we'll just smack you with the hammer and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just testing your reflexes, your kneecaps, but forcing a spirit out of you.
I feel like you are trying to goad him on, and it is only fueling his fire.
I mean, yeah, I'm in.
Like, see, you
Yeah.
you're barking
Like,
up.
Look, I know
I'm
how
already
to
back.
handle
You want to
Athros
start
here.
going
Okay?
now? Like, just 8? We can go now.
We go now. You guys want to go
Yeah.
now?
Uh-huh.
You guys ready
Yeah,
to head out?
the weather's fine. We can go over there right now. We'll come back. We'll be back, what, in the morning? It will take us a quick couple hours out there, a couple hours back.
Well, if it's down by the Red Run, that's like a 2-day trek. We could run really fast through the snow, and hopefully not die, and then get this hammer thing and then come back. But I don't think it'd be by morning. Not trying to like, unhype you, Ythros. I see what you're doing. I see where you're at, and I support it. I want us to be a little realistic.
She just wants to be a Debbie Downer, Athros.
So,
I'm just saying.
Can't do it today.
I'm just saying. Sienna apparently is down near the Red Run too, in the forests down there doing some weird frost druid shit. What's to say we don't save her and then take a detour before we come back, find this hammer, and then when the ritual thing, if it gets underway and we get there, we just smack Athena or Hedrun or whatever form she takes, and we knock the Hedrun out of her.
Yeah. Do it.
So if we have a way out of the rhyme, why don't we just tell what's her face and then she can just come with?
Do what?
What do you mean we have a way out of the rhyme, Ythryn?
You said you want us to go down to this one place and get this hammer. It's out of the 10 towns, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still in the frozen north of the Icewind Dales.
Yeah.
The spine
Oh.
of the world is the barrier. Literally like the center of the spine of the world. Like Mienzo Canis is caught halfway within the spell itself.
Ah, okay. That geographical
Yeah, the spine of the
misconfusion.
world
My
is
bad.
like your barrier that the spell is kind of wrapping you around. And you had different ways to get here when you came on the the Iron Shepherd and the Snowpiercer. There were ways somehow you got in, but you can't leave. Is really what it comes down to.
Gotcha.
You can't leave.
Athros' claustrophobia is starting to think in a little more again.
It's okay, buddy. It's
We're
okay.
stuck here.
Vast.
You mean I can't leave?
We're
Uh-oh.
so vast. We're literally on a planet.
I'm stuck here though. I don't think you understand.
Not necessarily. I mean, like, there's spelljammers out there. We could just get on a spelljammer and fly to another planet.
We can leave?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
Nothing
okay,
is-
then I'm fine.
Nothing is
We're good.
binding us 100%. Come on.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
fine.
let's go get this hammer. And I start walking towards the door, like, let's go.
I look at Arini and I just go, we are not going through another cauldron issue.
Wait, we didn't tell the lady. And like as Athros like walks away, we didn't tell the lady how we're feeling about this quest. And Athros walks out of the room. And the party is
More
like,
money. Yeah.
yeah.
Substantially more money.
Substantially more money. That's just like, listen to everybody in the group. We're like, we are just gold hungry. This is all it
Yeah.
is.
Like add a 0 to that number.
Even that's light. But yeah.
50K
Like
a
maybe
pop.
5,000 gold up front just to start it. And then we'll negotiate once we actually get to the glacier. Like, okay, now that we got you here, now we're going to negotiate once we know what we're dealing with. Like, how much magic items are in there? How much?
Like
Yeah, how
that,
many-
yeah. Like in that respect, is like we are extremely powerful. And we are going to only get more powerful the closer we get to the glacier. So 5,000 is a good place to open this door and start.
As the party deliberates what they want to do with Vellynne and the prospects of this spirit shunting hammer, I think that's where we're going to leave it for now, as Aethris has just walked out of the room.
It basically does that, like, what's it called? The Doctor Strange, like, disembodiment joint? Is that what that is? All I'm getting a visual is literally Aethros swinging like a Super Mario hammer, but it's knocking the soul out of someone.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate representation of
Perfect.
what she was trying to describe to you. So, all right. Question I have is, how is everybody's next week looking? It would be the 25th.
If there's any
I
events.
don't foresee any issue.
Should be fine.
Okay. If anything changes, please let me know. But otherwise, we can plan for next week and see what the party ends up deciding.